Now, what's your relationship with Yo Gotti?
I don't have a relationship with him. I never met him, never did any business with him whatsoever.
The only time I can remember having a conversation with Yo was over the phone years ago, and Gotti knew some people that I know, and they reached out and put us on the phone, and he just reached out and was asking me, what was going on, and, could it be worked out or whatever, and of course it could.
I had something to do with Dolph being killed. Cause nigga, if I did, nigga, who gonna do something? Nigga, I ain't never been afraid of nothing or nobody.
And you know the feds still on you, don't you, boy? The feds want to tie all this together to Yo Gotti. Cause we know CMG paid for you, nigga.
And I went to the door and it was Cornelius. So I stepped outside, and that's when he mentioned to me, he was like, man, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to kill Gotti. So at that point, I never heard of that incident. I heard of it, if you reverse it, I done heard of it that way, the hits, attempted hits on Dolph, but I heard of it, if you reverse it, I done heard of it that way, the hits, attempted hits on Dolph.
When you said they said they didn't want you, who do you think they wanted?
Jook and Gotti.
Yeah.
Jook and Gotti.
Yeah.
Jook and Gotti.
Yeah.
They offered me a chance to get ahead of things, that I would go ahead and basically cooperate, so to speak, and try to get immunity. That's what I was offered in the beginning.
As you heard about Hernandez Govan, he was cooperating in this investigation. He met with law enforcement on at least 2 occasions pursuant to a proffer agreement, which meant he was allowed to go in and give information and not have his words used against him later.
What's up with it, do? Drill Time TV checking in once again. And if you haven't noticed by now, Govan is gonna continuously throw Cornelius under the bus every chance he gets to whoever will listen to him, but will never acknowledge the fact that if Big Jook was still alive and would have survived that ambush at the repass, that Govan too himself would have been Cornelius and would have had to take the stand on his longtime partner Big Jook, because clearly that's what he told the state in the proffer. Because if you pay attention to the way his answers is worded in his recent No Jumper interview, it's clear as day that he passed all the blame on Jook. Man, chill out. In the next clip, Govan was talking a little too much for his own good and said that in the beginning, William Massie, his former attorney, which we go get into later on in this video, met with the state, and somehow they had immunity on the table for Hernandez Govan and the murder of Young Dolph.
It's kind of a wild idea to give immunity to the guy who paid for it and directed it, but then prosecute the shooters.
Because it wasn't even, listen, when I got indicted, they told me, like, we don't even want you. Like, I was a casualty of war.
Right.
Like, it wasn't me that they was concerned with. They know I had no, like, the people that was invested in that case know that I had no personal beef with Dolph.
Right.
I'm over here scratching my head, wondering, like, who had personal beef with Dolph that he been saying all along?
Reverse it, I done heard of it that way, the hits, attempted hits on Dolph, but at that point I hadn't heard anything about someone trying to do anything to Gotti.
It wasn't me that they was concerned with. They know I had no, like, the people that was invested in that case know that I had no personal beef with Dolph.
Right.
They know that. What it is they...
So who had the personal beef then?
To reach their goal and to get what they want, they had to...
I'ma stop him right there, because I thought he was about to keep it real and tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? What Govan really want to say is, To reach the goal and get what they wanted, Govan had to flip on everybody, and they wanted Gotti. For that immunity, he would have had to give up Gotti. But instead, he offered up the second best of Yo Gotti in his mind, Big Jook. The state plan was for Govan to flip on Jook in desperate hopes of Jook flipping on Gotti. And I believe that's what he was about to say before he caught himself. He had to think about it for a minute. And when he did, he just segued back in the cornbread. You can't make this shit up.
To get what to reach their goal and to get what they want, they had to get in bed and believe the lies of a junkie pill addict that's saying and twisting everything that had 4 years to lay in a cell on 23-1 and twist things and make them sound good for the prosecution to try to free himself.
Now Remo sensing Govan trying to spin him like a tornado, he said, hold on Govan, we gotta stay on task. Now you done said Cornelius a created player pill popping junkie, so he just a higher gun, so who the higher ups? And if the state didn't want you and was willing to give you immunity, who did they really want? Govan will answer by saying Jook and Gotti, but surprisingly this time, he ain't even denying connecting Big Jook no more, he just denying connecting Gotti.
When you said they said they didn't want you, who do you think they wanted?
Jook and Gotti.
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying. They were trying to use you to connect Jook and Gotti to the situation.
But you can't use me to connect Gotti to nothing, because I never had no relationship with Gotti. We ain't never rode to the store together, ever.
Govan would later admit, like, okay, y'all, I was bullshitting about Yo Gotti. I do know him, and I'm gonna tell you a little story about him. And so Govan admit that he knew Yo Gotti before he was a big successful artist. Matter of fact, he said Yo Gotti know him and reached out to him about squashing the beef with a local artist that he had under his label at the time over a female.
And just keeping it all the way G, I'm talking about like, and this on my kids. The only time I can remember having a conversation with Yo was over the phone years ago, and he had the little rap group. I forget the name of them little niggas. I think one of his name was Chris or Christyle, something. But he had like a little rap group. But anyway, I had some words with one of his artists. And I think at the time it was about a young lady, a girl, and I had said a few things or whatever, and I guess the artist had went back and said something, and Gotti knew some people that I know, and they reached out and put us on the phone. And this was before Gotti blew up, or whatever the case may be. I think this was around the time, maybe right before he signed with Birdman or whatever the case. And he just reached out and was asking me, what was going on, and could it be worked out or whatever. And of course it could. And we put it to bed. That was the only conversation that I ever had with this man, and that's on my kids.
Man, tell me why your boy go from not knowing Yo Gotti to Yo Gotti knowing him and reaching out to him to squash the beef. I think he got the main character syndrome. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But what I don't understand is the conspiracy he's trying to build around his longtime attorney, William Massie. Now, Govan claimed that Massie called him into his office on Super Bowl Sunday and told him he'd been hearing his name in the Dolph case downtown and asked him, is he gonna need him? And I guess when Govan explained his role in the situation, his lawyer Massie asked him, do they need to get ahead of the case? Instantly, Govan understood the terminology and understood his lawyer was telling him in so many words, let's make a deal like the game show. But Govan will continue bullshitting and talking in codes, and Adam would keep prying, so eventually, Govan would come clean and admit that Massie wanted him to cooperate, and they were offering immunity. But under one stipulation, he had to mention you-know-who. It's your boy Yo Gotti, in so many words.
When I started to have concerns is when my previous attorney that I had before Manny, he reached out to me on Super Bowl and called me early in the morning and was like, Govan, what you got going? I said, I'm just at the house, Massie, what's going on? And he said, I want you to meet me in my office. I said, you do know it's Super Bowl Sunday, right? And he said, yeah, come on, we're not gonna take long. So I pulled up on him, and we're in the office, just me and him. We sit down, and he said, Govan, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings downtown about this Young Dolph case. Are you gonna need me? And I looked him in his eye and told him, I said, need you for what? I ain't had nothing to do with it. I told him the part I played as it relates to the music. And he was just like, well, I just wanted to talk to you and see if we needed to get ahead of this thing. And no, I don't need to get ahead of nothing because I ain't had no parts in it. So, I know I could tell that he was sent to do that, my attorney.
Meaning the cops sent him there? Because I was thinking like, oh, he just heard this rumor because he's so close to the justice system.
He was, in my opinion, sent by, because I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but he was sent by someone who had high interest in the Dolph case, in the prosecution part of it, from someone.
So do you think that somebody essentially sent him to sniff out if you were guilty? Like he wanted him to try to just ascertain as much information as he could get?
What I think the expectations were that if Massie say something to me about it in the beginning and they offer me a chance to get ahead of things, that I would go ahead and basically cooperate, so to speak, and try to get immunity. That's what I was offered in the beginning.
Okay. So if you had said in that meeting and he said, do I have anything to worry about? And if you had said like, listen, I'm gonna keep it real, I paid them to go do this, how do you think that conversation would have went? You think he would have tried to basically like give you immunity to just spill the beans on the other people?
Well, he had
involved?
already told me that, that he had talked to someone and they said that if I knew what they wanted to hear, that they would give me immunity. But I didn't know what they wanted to hear. So there's no way that I could have got immunity even if I wanted it.
It's kind of a wild idea to give immunity to the guy who paid for it and directed it, but then prosecute the shooters.
Because it wasn't even, listen, when I got indicted, they told me, like, we don't even want you.
Damn, you hear him? See what I'm saying? He said he was getting immunity either way. Even if he told him, look, I found these guys and put them together to kill Wooty Woo. At the end of the day, I'm just the middleman. I already gave him Jook, but they wanted Gotti. But why mention and name drop Massie when we already know that that's the attorney that represented you in the feds when you snitched on Terrence Yarbrough and was facing that 15 years? After Govan gave his testimony and sent Terrence Yarbrough up the river, Massie had him back on the streets in 2 years. Ugh. So being that he been helping you get snitch deals in the past or however it worked, why would you want to, throw him under the bus now? Shit, you should be riding with him. He was about to get you immunity. Why you ain't take it? So why you acting weird now? Because he wanted you to cooperate. That's what y'all been doing. You been snitching and he been getting you the deals for cooperating. Afterwards, you get it sealed and play to the public like you don't know what the fuck going on. Shout out to my boy Justice for Dolph. Y'all go ahead and run him up.
District of Tennessee, United States of America versus Terrence, Yarbrough Exhibit, and Witness List. Check out My Favorite Little Rat from Orange Mound, making an appearance on October 29th, 2013 during Terrence Yarbrough sentencing day. We want to know what the federal asset said while singing like Cornelius. Quet the Rat will never say to his federal culture vulture that sucker Vlad about this, how he was Cornelius, before Cornelius made it cool to be Cornelius.
Damn, he ate with that one.
Y'all check this shit out. Hernandez Govan, having been first duly sworn, took the witness stand and testified as follows. The court, sir, if you'll take the witness chair, be careful when you step up so that you don't fall over your rat tail, and speak into the microphone like you Cornelius. The witness, yes sir. The court, Mr. Scrimetti, direct examination. By Mr. Scrimetti. Question, good morning sir. Please state your name for the record. Quet the Rat, Hernandez Govan. Question, could you please spell your first and last names for the court reporter? Quet the Rat, Hernandez, last name Govan, Govan. Question, Mr. Govan, based on what you are wearing, is it safe to say that you are in custody? Quet the Rat, yes sir. Question, and you're in custody on federal charges, correct? Quet the Rat, yes sir. Question, in fact, you pled guilty to a 3-count federal indictment? Quet the Rat, yes sir. Question, and that includes being a felon in possession of a... Next page. Question. And that includes being a felon in possession of a firearm. Is that correct? Quet the rat. Yes, sir. Question. As well as marijuana distribution? Quet the rat. Yes, sir. Question. And then a 924C for possessing a firearm related to the drug offense? Quet the rat. Yes, sir. Question. And you pled guilty, right? Quet the rat. Yes, sir, I have. I am the biggest snitch I would even tell on myself. Just like I did in DA office, offering my guilty plea for Young Dolph's assassination. Question. And do you know how much time you are facing? Quet the rat. I think it's around 10 to 15 years. Question. And why are you here today testifying? Quet the rat. I'm here testifying today about Terrence Yarbrough. I don't want to hear shit no more. This federal informant literally said I am testifying on Terrence. Question. Is the reason you are testifying because you are trying to get cooperation credit? Quet the rat. No, sir. No, not at all. I am facing 10 to 15 years, but I am here just voluntarily snitching. It has nothing to do with me not being able to care for my autistic son. I am here for the love of the snitching game. Question. Why are you testifying? Quet the rat. I'm testifying because, the things that he said to me during our stay out at Mason, Tennessee, things he said about different girls, particularly my cousin, Duraja, all the evil stuff that he said that he did to her, and things like that. Question. So you've got a personal interest in this case. Is that correct? Quet the rat. Yes, sir. Question. Isn't it also true, though, that you hope that by testifying truthfully, that is something the judge will take into consideration at your sentencing? Quet the rat. Yes, sir. Oh shit, here we go, facing 10 to 15 years, and admits to cooperate in a major federal case to keep his rat cheeks and whiskers outside. Now we know he will snitch his way out. Question. And which judge will be sentencing you? Quet the rat. Judge Mays. Question. You mentioned your cousin Duraja, and can you explain to Judge Anderson how you got to know about the connection between Mr. Yarbrough and Duraja? Quet the rat. Well, me and him were in the pod together for quite some time together. Our conversation started by my fiancé sending me books. Oh my god, here he goes with that fiancé shit. This dude always has a fiancé around when he's telling. He would often ask to read those books. So I had pictures that were sent in from my fiancé and other relatives, and he asked to look at them one day. He saw my pictures, and he saw me in the picture with my cousin Duraja. Before I could say anything, he was like, you know that girl too? He didn't say it in those words, but he was like, you know her too? He said, I used to mess with her too. I used to record her. I used to secretly record her and watch the video with my homeboys and stuff like that. This was all before I could even get a word out, and before I could even say that she was related to me. M.R. Lorenzi. Your Honor, please, I'm going. Next page. Mr. Lorenzi, to object. I don't see the relevancy in this. I don't see the relevancy at all if we are talking about his sister. I mean, just because he knew her? The witness. No, we are talking about my cousin Duraja. The court. Hold on a second. Mr. Scrimetti, Your Honor, we can skip over this part if the court wants. I was just trying to establish there was a relationship and conversations between the witness and Mr. Yarbrough. The court, I think you've established that, so let's just move on. Mr. Scrimetti, certainly. By Mr. Scrimetti. Question, Mr. Govan, are you familiar with what's sometimes called sovereign citizen or the UCC movement? Quet the rat. Yes, sir, I am. Question. Do you have any knowledge of Mr. Yarbrough being connected with that movement? Quet the rat. Yes, I do. Question. Can you please explain to the judge what Mr. Yarbrough's connection is to the sovereign citizen movement? Quet the rat. He would, like to all the guys in the pod, he would speak on the sovereign. Next page. He would speak on the sovereign citizen, saying that it's a scheme, basically to get out of jail. He would tell people that this is your way out. If you become a sovereign citizen, you can become immune to all United States laws. And after you get sentenced, 10 days after you are sentenced, they have to release the body. And if they don't, if they hold you against your will, then whoever is holding you would be arrested. And he has a guy that he communicates with that's in the free world that he says he can introduce you to sign the necessary papers. Fill out all the necessary things to get the stuff started up. And he says you have to study. He has different books and stuff that he shows people, new guys that come in or guys that are familiar with the sovereign citizen scheme. Question. And are there specific individuals that he's taught this stuff to? Quet the rat. Yes, sir. Question. Could you tell the judge who some of those people are? Quet the rat. He communicates with Keith Gibson about it. There's a guy named Fox that's in another dorm. Edward Beckton. They all communicate about it. They pass information back and forth to make sure everybody is on point and things like that. So not only the federal witness / informant told on Terrence right before getting sentenced about his plan to get out, he told on multiple other inmates to seal their fate in prison too. So his informant asked him to work in the streets again and go back to his gambling and gossiping about Dolph, bringing up Gotti name in all them songs. This goofy told on Terrence, Keith Gibson, Fox, and Edward Beckton. Question. Is it fair to say that it's Mr. Yarbrough that's teaching other people about these issues? Quet the rat. Yes, I have witnessed him several times on several occasions sit down and even mention something to me about it, but I told him that I didn't want anything to do with it. He was trying to get me to read some type of paperwork called Redemption Act, UCC code, and telling me I needed to study and things like that this was my way out of jail and all that. Laughing out loud, Terrence tried to tell the informant how to get out. Boy, T-Rex, you tripping. He knows exactly how to get out them 10 to 15 years, snitching his way out. Mr. Scrimeti, no further questions, Your Honor. The court, Mr. Lorenzi? Mr. Lorenzi. Thank you, Judge. Cross-examination. By Mr. Lorenzi. Question. Mr. Govan, it's your understanding that this is Mr. Yarbrough's legal theory to help people get out of jail? Quet the rat. Sir, could you please repeat that? Question. It's your understanding that this is Mr. Yarbrough's legal theory to help others get out of jail? Quet the rat. Well, to my understanding it's a scheme, because he tries to get people that have no type of knowledge of being a sovereign citizen to become one, and next page. Quet the rat. He would say that you can pay his friend to fill out the necessary paperwork and things like that. So I don't think it's like a legal thing. From my understanding, it's a bogus scheme. To sum it all up. Question. Prior to your testimony, have you met with anybody regarding your testimony? Quet the rat. Have I met with anybody regarding my testimony? Question. Yes, sir. Quet the rat. No, I haven't met with anybody regarding my testimony. I've met with the AUSA about the things that I've obtained. So the Orange Mound informant met in person with Assistant United States Attorney just to snitch away collected information in his undercover operation. Question. All right. So you met with the U.S. Attorney's Office with regard to this testimony here today? Quet the rat. Yes, I have. Question. And you are also hoping to get some relief from your sentence by testifying here today. Is that correct? Quet the rat. I mean, I'm not. That's not what I'm here doing this for. Boy, stop it. You a bigger tattletale than Cornelius Lorenzi. Your Honor, please, I'm going to object as non-responsive. That's a yes or no question. The court. All right. Mr. Govan, if you will just listen to the question and answer it as best you can, yes or no, or if you don't know, say so. Then I'll give you an opportunity to explain after that, okay? The witness. Okay. The court. Reached your question, Mr. Lorenzi. Mr. Lorenzi. Thank you, Judge. By Mr. Lorenzi. Question. You are going to be asking Judge Mays to give you some cooperation credit from your testimony here today, aren't you? Quet the rat. No, I won't know. Question. Your lawyer will? Quet the rat. I can't speak for the future. I don't know what he will be doing. There you go. He has his lawyers arranging all his cooperation deals. Remember, he was facing 10 to 15 years in 2013, meaning if he didn't cooperate, he wouldn't even be outside free able to participate in plot against Dolph.
So yeah, there you have it. Now, as we all can see, he had his attorney, William Massie, bartering federal deals behind closed doors. And then he makes the mistake of name-dropping him on No Jumper. You know we had the paperwork. We've been waiting to put that piece together to the puzzle. And Quet, you can bet that the viewers ain't as slow as you make them out to be, Playboy. See, he done told on this man Yarbrough, but I know he wasn't the first, and he ain't gonna be the last. Hey, they probably did offer him immunity, but took it off the table when Jook passed and he ain't give up Gotti. Hey, cause you already know he would've jumped at that at breakneck speed. He told Blad he would've took that 10 ball. But as long as you keep on throwing these hints and blues clues, oh, the Fed's still watching. Now, speaking of clues, damn, Quet, I almost forgot. How you gonna let me get up out of here without debunking some shit I done said in the last video? When you was arguing with your daughter, Lotto Desto Cash, pulling up on her granny, threatening to clap her and her OG. Well, in them text messages that your boy leaked, you told Desto to check Yarbrough page to see what he got on there. And I said he done posted y'all federal paperwork, which he probably did and probably deleted it.
That's his daughter saying, "Good day, love." Look how he talked to his daughter. I don't give a fuck about no Facebook. Go on Yarbrough page and see what he said about me. Fuck you mean. That man got 5,000 friends. The whole world, he worried about clouding what people saying. That man got 5,000 friends. The whole world know what happened, cause it's on his page. He back chasing the Instagram, social media shit again. This is his daughter he talking to, the one that's dead. Matter of fact, we just talked last week through text. Now this where it get real crazy.
However, upon checking his page, he did have a YouTube link up with over 200,000 views entitled "The End of CMG, Who Was Hernandez the Rat Govan, Paperwork Proof." So most definitely what's done in the dark shall come to the light. Shout out to Hood Educated.
Let's talk about Orange Mound Quake. But it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. But at the same time, come on, man. 1 + 1 = 2. And for CMG, this shit is not looking right. But the cold-blooded part about it is this right here. CMG, Yo Gotti, Big Jook. If y'all laid in the bed with this nigga right here, Orange Mountain Quake, if y'all sat down with him, if anybody of stature of CMG sat down with Orange Mountain Quake and planned the killing of Young Dolph, y'all ass cooked. Y'all ass deep fried, done. Stick a fork in them. It's over with. Why? Check it out. As y'all seen, right, in both of those pictures that I just showed y'all, right, I want you to notice something. There was a pimp by the name of T-Rex, right, out of Memphis. He was one of them type of motherfuckers. He beating the girls, drugging the girls up, getting young ass girls in their teenage years and shit like that, pimping on them and shit like that. He doing all that type of shit. Orange Mountain Quake, Hernandez Govan happen to know all these details. And so when you look at this document, I'm gonna show it to you again. When you look at these documents, you're gonna see that T-Rex was sentenced to 530 some months, right? And then I want you to look at the document where I got it highlighted red, where you can see where it says government proof witness Hernandez Govan, and you will see in that document that T-Rex got the same amount of time, and they both out of Memphis, Tennessee. Y'all see what I'm talking about? So, being that this nigga right here already got snitching in his blood, it's already in him to be doing this type of shit. If them niggas laid in the bed with him and plotted the death of Young Dolph, man, they ass is cooked, fried, done. They might as well forget
kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, God been good to me and my team, you know what I'm saying? So like, when I get out the road, when I come to Memphis, it's like coming to the hood, you know what I'm saying? Put a smile on people's faces, whether it's food for the kids, whether it's shoes, food for the kids, shoes for the kids, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?